Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, LinkedIn family. I'm so happy that you're all coming back to Coffee with Bob, and the show is really getting going in earnest. And today I am so blessed and very welcome, very happy to welcome Will Pemble to the show. Will is a relatively new contact for me. And you have to forgive me, Will, I forgot how we got connected. I get so many connection requests that it's hard sometimes. But I am so pleased that you're on Coffee with Bob because it gives me an opportunity to learn about you, and it gives my audience an opportunity to learn about you at the same time. So that's really exciting. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Cool. Oh, well, thanks, Bob. It's great to be here.
Awesome. So, all right. So Will, tell us a little bit about what you got going on and what's Will all about.
Well, I mean, since the name of the show is Coffee with Bob, it's a really quick one. I thought I would start with probably something that everybody has is a world's best, or every dad has is a world's best dad coffee cup. Now, the reason that I like this world's best dad coffee cup, which my wife made for me, on one side it says world's best dad, and on the other side it says officially Will Pemble 2014.
Nice.
The reason for that is back in 2014, I built a backyard roller coaster for my son, Lyle. And if you Google me at all, you'll find out about that pretty quickly. But 180 feet of track, full on thing. And we got, yeah, it was an awesome adventure. He was 11 at the time. And it was just a magical, joyful, beautiful experience from one end to the other. Part of it was this article that showed up in the New York Times about the backyard roller coaster, where the possibility that I really was the world's best dad was suggested, right? And so ever since then, the coffee cup came as a joke. My daughter has since said things like, "Well, that's not very good parenting." I'm like, "Well, technically, if I do it, it is the world's best parenting."
Yeah.
So I was like, I've got citations for this, and the reason I mentioned it today, and so, since we're having coffee together, the reason I mentioned it today is we've just in the last couple of months started this crazy project. I've built now 5 backyard roller coasters. There's a show on Netflix about roller coasters that I built. None of this
really
has, yeah.
Awesome.
I haven't lied at all yet. But yeah, you can see like one of the coasters I built on Netflix. There's all sorts of like fun and frolic and ridiculous good time that's been had around this crazy notion of backyard roller coasters. Millions of people have seen my YouTube channel. I've connected with millions of, just like there's a big thing happening. And it's not my real job. My real job is I'm a management consultant. I'm a leadership guy. And I'm a technical person, right? I know a whole lot about blockchain and NFT and all of those businessy things. So, but I'm also like this coaster dad guy. And a couple of months ago, I was talking with some of my fellow backyard roller coaster friends, and we got this idea that wouldn't it be fun, because crypto and NFT and all of that technology is kind of like at the forefront these days. And I'm an OG technical guy, right? I founded one of the first domain name registrars in the world, web.com. It started in the basement of this house. And so I'm like a Web 1 guy. I was around for Web 2 and a leader in Web 2. And now I'm sort of like a Web 3 futurist. And so where we ended up with this kooky NFT project called the Coaster Punks Project. And you can go to coasterpunks.com if you want to check it out. What Coaster Punks is it's going to be a carbon neutral NFT project, and we're going to use the revenue that comes from that to build 3 things. We're going to build an awesome roller coaster, sort of like an indoor moonshot based or moonshot themed indoor roller coaster ride. Think like Space Mountain, Space 1999. It's going to be really amazing. And so there's going to be this awesome moonshot ride. Is going to be one thing we do just to make sure that the thing is carbon neutral or even carbon negative, which when you're talking about carbon negative is good, right? So we're also going to build 120,000 kilowatt or 120,000 watt solar farm on the roof of the warehouse that we're going to use to build the coaster. And so that's, for reference, 120,000 watts is enough to power an average American home for a year. So we're going to build enough solar to power 10 homes ongoing, right? That system will last for 20 years. And the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to build with a company called Explore Media, which is like Mythbuster Carrie Byron's media company. They do educational content. We're going to build a STEM and STEAM educational series for teens and tweens, and that's going to be around what I call the physics, family, and fun of building the roller coaster. And so that's the Coaster Punks NFT. It's this big, crazy, joyful, silly project. And along the way, we're going to learn about crypto and we're going to learn about NFT. And so that's what I've been up to lately.
Wow, that's amazing. And I'm going to make sure that in the comments below, there'll be a link to Coaster Punks. I definitely need to check that out. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah. And what does your family think about this? This is a huge project.
It's pretty big. It's a big project. Liz has always been there for me. She's a much different kind of person. As you can see, I'm like silly and outgoing, and I'll, take just about any dare. And I swear to God, most of the cool business things I've done or cool technology things I've done, they've all been the result of some like lunch or conversation where somebody told me, it's like, you can't do that. I'm like, oh yes, I can. So like my whole life is based on sort of the question, how hard could that possibly be?
Right.
So I'm out there, right? I like to push the envelope. I like to see what can be done. And I'm curious as all get out. Liz is super supportive. She's a very steady person. We get along great because I'm crazy and she's not. And my kids kind of go
in between,
either way. Sometimes they're crazy, sometimes they're not so crazy. But and then my extended family, the Coaster Punks family, the people who've been following me for years and years about the roller coaster stuff, clients that I've had. Once upon a time, I was invited to speak at a conference in Germany called CloudFest, which is the biggest web hosting conference in the world. And I was invited to speak there because I was the founder of web.com and I'm a leadership guy now. And so I know about leadership, and also I build roller coasters, and the conference happens to be held at Europa Park, which is the biggest theme park in Europe. And so,
tie it all in. There you go.
So the crazy has opened up so many doors for me and made so many things come true. And like whenever I get a chance to, yammer about myself, I always try to encourage people as much as possible is to like say yes to the crazy stuff, take the risks, do the silly, nonsensical things that people would tease you for later, void your warranty, right? That's just good advice.
Yeah.
And because those are the people that make the world come true. People who don't believe it's not possible. It's like the guy who didn't know there weren't fish in the swimming pool. And so he caught a fish, that kind of thing. So.
Wow. Very cool. Here's the one thing I hate about Coffee with Bob, these segments, because they're so short and there's so much to say. So I want to invite you back, and we should do a Coffee with Bob live to really dive into Coaster Punks.
I'd love to.
If you're not connected to, if you're not following Will here, you really need to. He's got some amazing things going on, and I really can't wait to find you on Netflix now. So watch his LinkedIn post, find him on Netflix, look up his YouTube channel, go to coasterpunks.com and get involved, because this is amazing. And Will, if you're up for it, I'd like to schedule a Coffee Bob live for you so we can spend a lot more time, because this was way too quick.
Oh, Bob, it'd be so much fun. I would love to do that.
All right, great. I'm gonna hold you up on that. Hang on with me for just a second, okay? Have a great day.
Copy that.